All right, so we got a little last minute trip going on. We're actually in Texas right now, just starting off the day at Starbucks like normal.
Oh, hey, did you get my drink?
Oh, hey, yeah, I got you your drink. And look who's here to join us, Trevor.
I haven't seen you before. First time of 2018.
We're gonna be doing super things in Texas today.
Super things?
Nah, we got some really cool stuff planned that you guys will see very shortly. Trevor, you gotta give them the rundown on our Uber right now.
Yeah, so we got like the most badass Uber you could get. We got this Beast 2017 F250.
It's called Uber Texas Black.
Black edition.
So here in Texas, it's actually much cooler to have an F250 than it would be to like show up in a limo or something like that. So we're actually cruising in a sweet brand new F250 right now. It is our friend Sean's. Sean's kind of hanging out. We're crashing at his place. He's driving us around. You wanna say what's up, Sean?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
He's got a really cool, he's got a really cool car at home that we'll show you guys later today. There's a lot of parking lots to drift in Texas, huh? So the main reason why we are in Texas is to visit one of my all-time favorite people in the drifting world, Aaron Losey.
Hello, how are you?
All right, so Aaron, you kind of need to give us a rundown because we've got a car right here.
Okay, this is, I always have to back up in the story. I'll try and be fast. I buy a lot of drift cars. Whenever I see a crazy deal, everybody knows I always buy stuff for cash cheap. So when somebody needs money for something or desperate to get rid of something, I end up with a lot of cars. I've had over 100 cars and probably over like 60 or 70 drift cars. So this is one of them. This is a Nismo 370Z. I didn't even know it was a Nismo car or they were worth anything when I got it. Somebody hit a poll and they're like, Aaron, I need this car gone right now for cash. Like, has to be today kind of thing. And I offered him, should I tell him how much?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay, I bought a Nismo 370Z. And how good of condition is this thing?
It's very, very nice. I'll do like a very quick, brief walk around. This car is probably the coolest drift car.
This hasn't been washed in a year or 6 months. And this thing is crazy clean. 40,000 miles. Look at the interior.
40,000 miles. I mean, you could tell the airbag went off, but
yeah,
other than that, it's clean.
So I got this car for $5,000.
$5,000.
And it has a title too.
It has a title. It didn't even end up being salvage title. So no one even registered it as salvage or anything. So it's a clean title. The only thing that happened is it got smashed right here. We pulled it out with my truck. I got a new bash bar for like 70 bucks shipped.
Is it anything that affects like the suspension components, or is it just this front area?
Didn't even hit the alignment, didn't hit anything. Didn't hit a pulley, didn't kill anything. It just whacked the radiator a little bit, and all the impact was taken by this bar and the ends of the frame rails. So with the old bar still in there, maybe I'll have the footage and I'll send it to you. We just hooked up a strap to the old bar, pulled it from the exact direction that I got hit, so it pulled all the damage out. And then I got the core support in these is plastic. I got a new core support for 150 bucks, a new radiator for like 100 bucks online. It comes with the air conditioning in it, so I recharged that.
A new hood.
A new hood. So it's about $1,000 in parts to fix it. Obviously the bumper still looks pretty bad, but the hood now looks really nice. The car looks really good. It didn't touch the headlights, didn't touch the fenders.
The reason why the person sold it so cheap, I think you said that they were quoting like 15 grand to fix it?
Yeah, the body shop wanted to pull the engine and do all kinds of crazy stuff. I think they were just making it as expensive as possible on purpose so he could total it so he could get something else. Long story short, I got the car really cheap. I let it sit around for a while. This was gonna be my 2018 car, and I was gonna just like sneak this in past the Mustang, and I was gonna start driving this instead. What I've been trying to do is do a lot of really new chassis to kind of push the sport in a way of like new cheap chassis, because this is cheaper than a 240 with like a garbage SR V8 swap. This is half the price of a shitty LS1 swap 240. So long story short, I bought a 370Z, a 335i, a newer Mustang, a Corvette, and I got rid of the 335i because I didn't really like it that much, mostly because the color combo was gross, and I thought this was a lot cooler. So this year, the YouTube guys are gonna come here because I like them and I want to do cool stuff with them and want to grow the channel or do whatever. And we're gonna use this 370Z. Adam and Trevor and Taylor can fly in and drive this whenever they want. Because we want them to be around, but we don't need them to bring cars all the way across the country. And this is cheaper than transporting something too. Is that as much of the story, or you want more?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of take it from here and explain like, cool. Yeah, thank you, Aaron.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Bye. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna work on the Corvette?
No, I'm working on something for videos for the Lone Star Drift Channel stuff, like the YouTube account. And these guys are gonna, oh, real quickly, we're about to go put this car together, go to Harris Hill to test, and we're also gonna test the Corvette. So we brought two guys over from Tennessee. This is Marco, and Nick is inside. And they brought modified knuckles for the Corvette, so hopefully it's going to be around 50 degrees of angle. I think it's going to be like 45 to 50, somewhere in that range, probably. 53 maybe. Max. And we're going to go test both of these cars. So the Corvette is kind of the cheater car. It makes like, you know, almost 500 wheel. It's a lot more aggressive than this. But this actually, the Corvette sounds like an LS1 like pickup truck. There's a Jay-Z in the background. This thing sounds more like a Gran Turismo like video game car. Oh, this rev limiter is at 8,200, which is rad, and this car makes like 320 wheel, which is rad.
It's already got some bolt-ons. Do you know specifically what it has? I know it looks like it has an exhaust.
All it has is an exhaust, and it has the Nismo whatever makes it 350 crank, and then with an exhaust and a tune from Martin from Inthal BRS, it makes probably like what, 285 to 290 stock, and maybe 30 more than that now with those parts. So it makes about 320 wheel. And we just picked up, there's boxes here somewhere.
And that's me and Trevor's job, is to install all the stuff and all the crazy parts that we have here.
We got a bunch of ISR stuff, and I picked up control arms, but we have exhaust. So we have like a new exhaust to put on it, and they're gonna send headers at some points, I think, but I don't know if we're gonna do headers because it kind of gets to be the really loud VQ noise. So it might make another 10 wheel horsepower, but it really doesn't matter because it probably won't pick up any torque, so it's not usable. So anyways, there you go. You
cool.
guys have a blast.
Yep.
Have fun.
So before we have access to the lift, one of the first things that we were trying to sort out is getting the actual hood to mount up. But because all the latches are bent and the cable is kind of messed up and broken, we're probably just gonna end up doing some like arrow catch pins or something just to save some time. What do you think about that, Trevor?
Or we should just go to Summit and get like some good old-fashioned like American hood pins. You know, like the big.
I mean, that'd be super easy.
And
because then we could just drill a hole instead of having to like cut them nicely.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm down.
Keep the reamer out.
It might actually look pretty cool. This thing's so cool. So yeah, basically the plan is me, Trevor, and Taylor will probably like fly in at the same time or at different times this year and get to drive Lone Star events in this sick car that Aaron so kindly is helping us set up. He's got a ton of sponsors on board that are providing parts and stuff for the car. So we're gonna try to build this car in 2 days and go test it.
Day and a half, because it's like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I honestly don't know exactly what Aaron has for this car right now, but just looking at the boxes, it looks like we've got some BC coilovers, got a full WiseFab kit for it. This is probably an ISR exhaust.
Got that LZ backpack?
Yeah, that sweet new cream colorway, out now, link below. Probably some sort of AEM intake, some Enki wheels. What's this?
Oh, I think this is exhaust.
Oh, that's the exhaust? Oh, that's the Y pipe. Fancy. Sick. So
it's like Christmas time.
Should be a lot of fun. Probably one of my favorite people in the world to work on cars with is Trevor. So we just get to work on the Z, have some fun, and hopefully go test it out, drive it.
If we get your face dirty, can we rub this?
Oh yeah.
Use it for the...
Yeah, that backpack's gonna be black by the end of this weekend. Looks like some nice plastic pipes. Some nice filters. This looks like some sort of heat shield of sorts. Dang, it says it's gonna gain about 15 foot-pounds of torque. It's not bad, huh?
Well, that's what we need.
Yeah. We don't care about the horsepower, we just want the torque. I don't know how noticeable it will be, but I'm gonna get a quick baseline sound of what it sounds like with stock intakes, and then maybe you guys will be able to hear a difference with the aftermarket ones. This thing sounds sick. Let me get an exhaust clip. All right. If we're putting test pipes on this thing, it's gonna wake it up. I really made the mistake of not bringing my electric ratchet, so everything's gonna take 10 times longer here. Trevor was smart, he brought his. He's got the new fancy one. I'm jealous. So much faster than mine. It's a lot bigger though.
Yeah, there's definitely still a place in my heart for the other one.
Yeah, it's a good wrench. It's really satisfying taking all this gross stock crap out. What are we doing with this? Are we throwing it out?
No.
I feel like the most common thing in the world, people arguing over intakes because, oh, it's just a hot air intake, you're not gonna actually gain any power. Well, the cool thing is, these come with heat shields. So this will basically kind of do a similar thing that the stock airbox would, making sure that all the hot air doesn't get on the intake while having a more free-flowing cone filter. The intake setup probably shouldn't have taken as long as it did, but me and Trevor are both the type of people that don't like to read instructions, so we had to keep on like redoing stuff. We eventually read the instructions. But anyway, looks pretty cool. I think we're about to actually go take it out for a test drive and just kind of see how it feels before we start ripping out the suspension and doing the WiseFab on it. We're getting a late start. It's like 3:20. Trevor's just making a joke asking where the backup camera is, and then we found a backup camera in the dash.
We just had to plug it in.
That's gonna be so convenient when you're like harnessed in and you don't have to
Like make sure people are behind you.
We should put those in our drift cars.
Well, my Mustang already has one.
Give her a good old 1-2, Trevor. Seems fast. Wish we were working on this instead. Looks like they're 3D printing a gauge to tell how much angle the car has. So we were going to do a true coilover conversion like I literally just did on the giveaway Z. However, there was a bit of confusion when it came to the spring size. So if you look at this right now, these springs are a bit too short. For the proper preload, we are almost at the very top of the shock. And the issue is with this setup, obviously when the car is on the ground, it's gonna compress a little bit, and then we're gonna be actually bottoming out the spring. It's gonna be hitting itself, and that's not very good. So we need a spring that's probably about 50 millimeters longer, maybe about down to here to get it proper. So sad. So we're just gonna do the stock spring bucket setup for now, and hopefully we'll be able to get a decent alignment.
Adam, what are you doing?
Just doing coilovers. I'm just gotta drill a hole real quick so we can get the remote adjusters up through there.
Is this a hole that you already drilled?
Yeah,
It's not big enough.
back, but it's good because now I can.
I'm up here in the front just getting ready to mess with this Wise Fab a little bit. I'm probably just gonna remove this upper strut tower because all them bolts are kind of down in there to remove the strut on the top. So we can install the front coilover and then basically pull off this whole front knuckle lower control arm system to install this Wise Fab kit. So I don't know, I've never messed with anything like this, and I think they have instructions, but I don't know.
It's pretty dark in here, and like the tools obviously aren't what I'm used to using, so it's been a little bit more of a challenge than normal, especially given that the height of the car is a little lower than I'm used to, just because they're working on the front of the car right now. But what I've essentially gotten done is all the rear adjustable arms. We weren't able to do toe arms back here, so I put in actually adjustable traction arms and adjustable camber arms down there, which I've already done, so I didn't really bother filming. And then up here, they've all been working on doing Wise Fab for the front. Trevor, show them how much lock we got.
Look at this.
I'm super jealous. That's insane.
That you didn't get to install it? The trailing is what's really...
I'm jealous that I don't have this on my car. This is crazy. Look at that. Look at that angle.
That's like we're gonna have to cut this whole front of the bumper off so that it does that.
I should have filmed it before.
And then, well, this side, the other side is stock. It's 100% stock over there. We had to cut the subframe though. Look at this. We had to clearance the subframe right there because this tie rod, it wouldn't go all the way, and that was limiting us.
It's crazy.
And we have it on like the least aggressive Ackerman. So it's like the 6-degree washers that you're...
To be super basic about it, there's different degrees of Ackerman. There's positive Ackerman, negative Ackerman, zero Ackerman. Zero would be like the wheels are parallel at lock.
This is a rear rack steering setup. So that's zero Ackerman, where both wheels have the same amount of angle.
What most people are used to running is positive Ackerman. So basically when you're at angle, there's like a little bit of toe out, and the wheel that's dragging kind of helps it self-steer. Where if you're parallel, the car doesn't really self-steer at all, kind of like how my JZX 100 drove for a while. This is faster in drift, but this will feel more like what we're used to.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more natural too.
Yeah,
The reason they have that built into cars is because you gotta think of like the radius of a circle. It's like smaller right here versus over here it's bigger. So you want that outer wheel to go a little bit further out. So when you like drive around a corner, the wheels aren't doing random things.
Makes sense. Because we don't have the adjustable arm or the true coilovers, the way that we have to adjust this is with this eccentric bolt. So if you look, you just kind of turn this guy and it changes. The position of the washer and thus moves the wheel.
I'm pretty sure I see Trevor use that little ratchet tool for walking or any other tool on my car. Did you look anything ever or what? Oh, it is.
This car is a somewhat decent exhaust setup. Looks like stock Y-pipe, still has cats, and it's got an aftermarket dual exhaust, but it's a little bit quiet, so we're gonna pull that out and we're gonna put in
an ISR Y-pipe and an ISR single.
Really cool. It looks like from a movie scene with all this lighting right now. It looks great.
Are you recording?
I'm totally recording.
This is majestic. Trevor's working on the Wise Fab, doing exhaust right now. Got the ISR Y-pipe, all pretty and shiny. It's actually not that late compared to how we normally work.
No, it's what? Well, it's 10:30.
It's not light out yet. We're cruising. Old on the ground, and we got the single tip Schulman in the air. Normally I'd say it'd be cool with a bumper tech, but this diffuser's sweet.
Yeah. What should we put over here? Smiley face?
That'd be funny.
Or like a...
We could put a ghost tip, like just hang a muffler there.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Isn't that weird? Well, I noticed there's like a subframe damper or something weird. It's weird because like normally I'm worried about hitting my head on the ceiling, but we got high ceilings here.
Yeah, you climbed all the way up there for that? Dead back?
Oh no, I disconnected the battery.
Just like my 350Z. We'll let it warm up for a minute. How's it sound?
Kind of lame. Like you.
You think it sounded better before?
No, it's definitely a little louder.
Yeah, I think it's got a little bit more note to it.
Yeah.
I think it needs test pipes.
It definitely needs test pipe.
It'll be for your Audi.
Oh, that sounds way better.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Kind of lucked out. Just testing the fitment real quick of the adjustments, everything. I mean, that's as low as it can go. I don't know if the other Enkis are the same size or what the deal with those would be, but yeah, alignment actually doesn't look too bad either. I was worried that we wouldn't be able to get rid of all the toe.
Got some negative camber action, but
Does it?
yeah.
I think the toe's off too. The thing is, I guess, oh yeah, it's got it's got a bit of negative camber. But the cool thing is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when I shorten the camber arm, it'll pull out the camber and get rid of the toe out that it
Yeah,
has.
to correct both.
I think we're gonna wrap up the night here and come back tomorrow to finish it up. We actually got to stop by Summit. Summit's local, I guess it's there in Juku, but Summit's way bigger than in Juku, right?
Oh, it's ginormous.
Huge. Okay.
It's like room to go size.
That should be cool. So we're gonna stop there, pick up some more parts, and probably finish this tomorrow.
So y'all are gonna drive a cooler car than me.
It's so much angle. A lot of cool random stuff chilling in the shop. Definitely a fun little project. I'm stoked about this thing.
When you said